for young talent even wanting to break into the industry, the question then is, if this is the bar of knowledge that I know today, how can I increase it to X?
Welcome to the SEO Africa Podcast, a space where ambition meets opportunity and African excellence meets global impact. SEO Africa is a non-for-profit leadership development organization focused on harnessing the potential of young Africans across the continent. Over the years, we have equipped and trained a score of talented individuals, placing them in global opportunities and global corridors across the world. On this podcast, we go behind the titles and the LinkedIn highlights and truly explore the journeys and decisions of our alumni over the years and how they have built such amazing careers. So join us on this incredible journey and take a front seat to the life of our alumni. Okay, guys, just to kick off, we're going to do a very, very rapid fire round.
All right.
And just to get a feel of who you are as individuals beyond the corporate space. So, the first segment, dream bigger, lead a global company or start your own.
That's the
Rapid.
I would lead a global company.
I'll start my own.
You start your own. Okay. Climb Mount Kilimanjaro or complete an MBA.
Oh, I'm climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in someone. So
You?
I mean, shit, Kilimanjaro as well, man. Like, yeah,
Everest.
I'll do both.
I would just
Everest.
climb. I'm sorry.
Even Everest.
I feel like I would do some hiking and I would enjoy it. So.
Okay. Be known for innovation or community impact.
Community impact. I think the more you grow, the more you realize what's important. I think community impact will be more.
Better.
Yeah. For me, by the way.
Innovation, just because I feel like you'd be remembered longer for that, maybe. But yeah.
Interesting. So, relive your first day at SEO Africa or your first day in consulting.
Relive. What was my first day in South Africa versus consulting?
SEO Africa was stressful, guys. I'm sorry. My first day in consulting was extremely chilled. I would relive my first day in
Yeah, it's
consulting.
really just like training.
Exactly. No, I would relive my consulting.
I want to hear about your first day, actually. We have to discuss that. Okay. A month of traveling or a personal mentor of your choice?
A personal what? I didn't get that.
Mentor of
mentor.
your choice.
I'll do personal mentor. I feel like that would be more long term.
Same here. I feel like I'll get
travel.
lessons. Yeah, that would be up for to me.
Interesting. Deliver a keynote at Davos or pitch a startup to investors?
Davos. Yeah.
I think I will pitch a startup.
Really?
Yeah.
We have Nigerian house now, Aisha.
I know. Yeah, I'll pitch. I don't know. I don't know. That's also like going to be impactful. So.
Okay, that's nice. Final question. If you could mentor your younger self, take more risk or plan more carefully?
Take more risk, guys. Like, be bold, be audacious. I think that's what I would tell my younger self.
Interesting.
Are those the only two options?
So like two options. Go big or go home.
Probably take more risk as well.
Take more risk as well. Interesting. I think we have an idea.
Maybe
of
take
your
more risk and start
personality.
early. Like that would be
Buy some
What would
Bitcoin.
early be for you?
like start at 100 level. Be on fire from 100 level. I think for me that would be it.
Okay. We'll press into that more.
Yeah.
And yours is Bitcoin.
Yeah,
So
literally,
into-
if I could tell myself, that's
I
I
used
saw stuff early, man.
Okay, so bonus question. Think real fast. First name that comes to mind. You both pick a mentor. Who would that be?
I would say Barack Obama. Weirdly, I don't know. I think for me, there's a way he commands the room. I think there's a way he writes, so there's some level of intentionality in it.
Do you
So
write?
I write too, so I
that's
think I would want to spend time with him for a while.
Okay, Longji.
If I'm thinking maybe someone local, maybe like a Tony Elumelu, just because I really liked what he did in the banking sector specifically, right?
Bit
And I'd
disruptive.
want to do something similar for another like nascent sector in the Nigerian industry. So yeah.
Interesting, nice.
Interesting.
So you got a feel of both of you. In your own words, could you introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Longji, and right now I'm a consultant, but I'll really say that's
Okay, so let me give you a cheat code. I don't know if you remember this. Could you introduce yourself the SEO way?
Okay, again.
Okay.
Guys,
Who wants to go first?
I can try. If I
Okay.
still remember, guys. So my name is Olasunkanmi Olabamiji, SEO class of 2018. Currently work as a consultant as one of the MPB. Happy to be here, guys.
Happy to have
All right,
you.
let me take that again. Then. So my name
Yeah.
is Longji Dafur, SEO class of 2021. Currently work as a consultant as well at an MBB firm too.
That's interesting. Happy to have you guys. And in one sentence, just give us a feel of what your work feels like. What's a typical day in consulting like?
I don't think you like this.
One sentence doesn't have to be the whole
It
paragraph.
depends. That's the sentence.
It depends.
On what?
On everything, I'll just say stressful. Like, it depends, but most times it's going to be stressful.
How do you say? There isn't like one standard day. Literally every day is different. Like
So
every
it's
day
not
is
one.
actually different.
Yeah,
That's
because
nice.
just someone just stressing you out, guys.
So does it depend on like the client or just the workflow?
I think it depends. For me, it depends on the project you're working on.
Okay.
It depends on the timeline that you have for you to complete the project. Depends on your manager. It depends on your manager's manager.
Yeah.
So like, guys, it's
Yeah.
a complicated
So many
web.
things.
So many things
Yeah.
at play.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So on this side, I've always been curious about this. When you tell people you work in consulting, specifically at an MBB firm, what reaction do you get?
I'd say there's two types of reactions I typically get on very different spectrums. So on this side is the people that have never heard of an MBB firm or
Yeah.
consulting. They have absolutely no idea. So they say, oh, I work in consulting. Like, oh, what's that? Right, so that's one spectrum.
Yeah.
The other side is the people that actually know about the industry and like, oh, you work in MBB firm? Oh, really? Like, that's really cool and stuff like that. So
kind
those
of
two different
impressed.
spectrums. Yeah. So it goes from not knowing at all to being impressed.
But I think I'm also in alignment. Is either people know, if they know, they're super excited. They
Yeah.
think like you have one bigger brain than they do. I'm just like, we are just no more human beings, guys.
Okay, so when you meet the people that have no idea, how would you describe consulting to them?
So I'd say the simplest way is to say that we're professional problem solvers.
Oh, that's nice.
I think, yes, we do solve problems. But I think for me, it's also like expanding it to be saying that we are helping our clients with what they feel is like their greatest challenge. And that's one of my firm, we would say like we are helping to unlock the potential of those who advance the world. So we see yourself as that little box or the little tool in helping us solving like a very big problem.
Yeah. Basically, whatever we can do to drive impact for
Correct.
the client and society at large.
In this episode, we'll be going into consulting and basically just discussing about strategy, growth, and building a career in consulting, particularly for people that are wearing your shoes or are in the shoes you were in like 5 years ago and just trying to navigate building a career, and also the SEO Africa effect and what the network has been like for you, basically. So my first question is, consulting is known for being fast-paced and high pressure as well. What was the biggest adjustment for you in the first few years or first few months rather?
You go first?
Yeah, I can try. I think for me, I wouldn't say like I was surprised by it because of my background. So I started my career in investment banking. Then I moved to venture capital. So like I was already known and used to the fast-paced lifestyle. So it was very easy for me to adjust. I think the only difference I would say for me was around like when in banking or in VC where I was, you work on multiple projects at the same time. But in consulting, I'm just staffed on one project. And I would
You're
expect
spending
that
more
it
time
to
on
be
that one than you would on all the multiple you were working on.
Exactly.
What's the duration like when
So-
you're looking at a project?
Honestly, I have been staffed on 6 weeks project. I've been staffed on like 6 months.
Yeah,
like it
same.
largely depends. But averagely, people would say 3 months.
3 months. So it's not as large as like a year or...
I do
it
have a
could be
case that is
possible.
running for you.
No, like honestly, it depends on whatever the client context is. Some people might want maybe like a short 4-week due diligence, or should I buy this company or something. Some people might want like a long 1-year transformation project. So really from
So in that
depends.
long 1 year, do you stick to one project or you're working on that project and others as well?
I think at my own firm, there's somewhat like a rule. and that's for you to have like 2 different review cycles. So max you can stay will be 6 months. And I think after 6 months, you then need some level of approval to overextend yourself on the case. But I don't know if it's the same for you.
So it's similar, although typically for the sake of development, it's not advised that you be on one particular project for like an extended period of time. But it is possible. Yeah.
But yeah, it is possible.
Yeah. So in your own case?
Biggest adjustment for me, I think, was having, in fact, I had to become an expert in industries I've never heard of or even fathomed in my life. Like, I studied economics. Why am I here doing oil and gas or solar mini grids or something like that?
And that's like actually interesting because in the SEO trainings, we constantly remind our interns and candidates as well before they go into organizations is enter your space and own it. So don't feel like an imposter. Always remember that you're someone bringing value in. And if you have to do the work to really understand that industry. So they would relate very well with consulting because they're going to spaces they've never been to before or spaces they never even heard of before. So that's quite interesting.
And if I could also just add, so I think the firm also like gives me all the resources I need to actually pull off what it is I'm supposed to do. So whether that's having access to a vast amount of experts from all around the world that have done this thing I'm working on hundreds of times, literally, or being having like a vast like data repository of stuff we've done before. It's just a matter of me like being able to like pull in all those resources to effectively achieve the task
and then do the work.
Yeah, and I think it's almost similar with mine too, where you do have like different expert network that you can always reach out to. And also sometimes your managers have also like they are an expert in that particular topic area and they can help you structure. I think the value we bring is being able to like structure the problem, ask the right questions, even though you're not an expert. And you're able to like get to the root cause of the matter.
The so what?
The so what.
The so what. Anyone that gets into consulting, you hear that a lot, the so what. Yeah.
Well, really, what does that?
So it basically means what is the impact? What is the implication to this thing, this suggestion, this solution that you've come up with? How does it actually drive impact for the client? What's the so what of it?
Yeah, and I think for me it would be like, why should we care?
Yeah,
like you said something, like why does it matter to us?
I think in marketing for us, that's called, so what's the benefit?
Yeah, something like that, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. There's something you said that kind of leads into my next question and also what we strive for in SEO Africa in terms of training young candidates across the continent. And it's, in your experience so far, what skill would you say matters more than you would have expected? Soft skills or technical skills?
I would say I can go first. I think it depends on the stage where you are at. At the early stage of your career, meaning you're just trying to get into like consulting, I think the technical skills will matter. Because also like if you're not strong technically, you wouldn't also get the job. So being able to case prep well, being able to like break down problems. But I think the more you continue to grow and evolve, the soft skills then become very important. Being able to build relationship. Like I think, I don't know if you're also judged that way, but we are also slightly judged by client relationship.
We call it client hands.
Yeah. So like those, I think two of them would matter just depending on where you are.
So at different stages, you then have to lean more on one.
Correct, yeah.
As members of the SEO Africa network, you obviously schooled on the continent, specifically for both of you, that would be Lagos, Nigeria. And now working in very global international organizations, would you say you noticed some gaps within your education and the skills that you then had to prefer on the job? And if you did, what mechanisms did you use to kind of bridge those gaps? And obviously I'm biased, SEO Africa. How did that experience and the training you got from SEO as well help bridge those gaps?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. So I think coming straight out of school, I'd say, there was definitely some gaps going straight into the workforce. Lots of things that I was experiencing for the first time, lots of things that I didn't know how to do, etc. I think a big part of closing those gaps was, of course, like self-study, like trying to get smart courses and stuff like that. But I'd say SEO also really played a very big role in that as well. SEO was the first real like structured program I got into, threw me into the weeds, really beat it into me in terms of trained
it into you.
Trained it into me in terms of, okay, this is how you should ideally act in a professional setting.
Mm-hmm.
This is what is typically expected of you. These are the best practices you should hone, etc. So I'd say that was a very big part of actually getting me to where I'd want to be in terms of a professional and able to actually work in these global settings. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, I would say like I was so happy I had like my SEO training because there was like my understanding of how like businesses are run was totally different when I joined SEO. Like things that you think wouldn't matter on a global scale, as simple as what you wear.
Yeah.
Like I remember I remember Sido hotels like white and blue. That was like the ideal, especially if you're going into banking. But also she taught us like business communication. How do you write an email? Even till today, I would read my emails 3 or 4 times. And even after I've sent it, I'm still reading it again. Yeah. So I feel like for me, those were like the foundational knowledge. And of course, you build up on those, but they were very, very helpful. And also the friends you just have at SEO. I think that's also
that support network is actually
the support network is good
as well.
Yeah, because I did get a mentor at SEO, and it was perfect. Like I had like issues I would think that were only my issues. When you discuss it, you realize everyone has gone through the same fire.
There's nothing new under the sun.
There's nothing new under the sun, so it was good.
That closet one. Sorry, that like clothing, like professional. That one's actually very, very underrated. Like literally my closet now is literally just white and blue.
Same,
but I feel like my firm is slightly more flexible. So they are like my Fridays I'm just chill.
Yeah, I'm just so happy that no SEO Africa alum will be caught wearing an orange shirt to work. And since you brought in the aspect of the SEO Africa community as well, what does that community mean to you?
So I think for me, with SEO, I've actually made like best friends. I have like some of my best friends are also like SEO alum.
Really? From your year?
Yeah, from my year. So for me, it's more family. I would say like I found like my own family of network at SEO. I found like good friends. And like this journey is tough if you're in any of the sector like SEO cover, either tech, either banking, private equity, or consulting. And it can be a lonely road if you do not have like a strong community of people, especially when you do have a deck to send at 3 a.m. and you just need to rant about it. Exactly. So you do need people to like tell you to persevere, or even when you want to give up, right? There are people that will tell you like, I've overcome, like keep pushing. So for me, they were like my backbone to where I am today.
Oh, that's interesting. Longji,
no, really, really appreciated the community. That's what gave me lots of the guys that were in my class. We still talk. We're still friends, etc. I think something that's also been like really appreciated, just like sharing opportunities around with each other, right? Like job opportunities, like this thing is coming up. I think you'd be a good fit for it and stuff like that. So I think that's been like the very big value I've seen from the network.
And maybe one fun fact, like my VC job, it was my close friend from SEO that sent me the link to apply. Like without him, I'm not sure I would have gotten it.
To where you are now.
Yeah, to where I am now, yeah.
That's interesting. And just for both of you as well, I remember reaching out to Longji and I was like, I'm thinking of having Sukomi on the pod with you as well. And I was like, oh, sure, I know him. And I called you as well. I didn't think I told either of you before. And I just wanted to know, how did you guys meet? What was your friendship like? Was it with Din? You're different years, obviously.
So I think we met when I was trying to apply to his firm. So I was trying to apply to his firm. He was so... this was even before, like, we knew, like, we were both SEO alum, right?
Yes.
Like, literally, he was so, like, super helpful, like, kissed with me, like, on a regular basis. So even though, like, I ended up somewhere else, somewhere I'm really, really happy with, but he was really instrumental. I think when we found out that we were both SEO alum, there was like an SEO dinner party or something, right? Just randomly went there. I saw like, yo, bro, what's he doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice because it also shows like the network and the community is open to helping others even beyond themselves as well, which I feel is just a big show of the kind of caliber of people that are also coming out of the community and network on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I also think like maybe SEO also self-selects. Like there is like you're definitely eye achieving, but there's also some level of niceness, kindness, and empathy into it. I don't think there's any of my SEO friends that I've reached out to that are not like supportive to be like, oh, can I pay attention? Or they could even be honest, like I'm not free this time, but let me get back to you on this. So I think maybe we've also self-selected.
Yes, I've also experienced this in reaching out to alumni because for the past 2 months we've been like touching base all over the world basically, and people are like, I'm so sorry I can't make it for this time, but I really want to be there and I really want to give back. Like it's such a forward thing and I'm paying forward community, and I really love that about the SEO alumni. So if I could be cheeky, obviously we know SEO Africa is a very leadership-based development organization. Why would you think we chose both of you? Actually, I want Sunkanmi to say why he thinks we chose Longji. And why Longji thinks we chose you for me. Okay. Let's have that. You're friends for years.
Let me think. Do you want to go first, baby?
Okay. I'd say I believe you guys chose Sunkanmi because he gives leadership energy. He gives big brother energy. Actually, I think that's how I say. Yeah, he gives very like big brother. Like, oh, I'll go to bat for you. I will show you the way. Like I think he's a very nice, kind person. Always like willing to help. I think that those are some of the qualities that really embody the entire SEO community. So yeah,
that's nice.
I think for me, I would say for Longji, one would be around, I think his brain, the way his brain works and the way he structures things. But I think the most important thing is also like the leadership spirit. You see, like he has a clear vision of what he wants to achieve, and he's also like just being dogged around it. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. On that point, actually, my next question is, how important is self-initiative and motivation in consulting? Do you think that's what has given Longji an edge, or in general, how do you...
Yeah. I feel like consulting, so there are several traits we look out for in consulting, and leadership is one. And the reason why you need to be like a self-leader, which also like the SEO would also like pre-select, is that no manager, or maybe my opinion or my experience, like managers are not willing to sit down and tell you what to do step by step. So like you need to be super proactive. You need to like structure, own it. There's something we call it like in my firm, it's like own your model. We say own your model. Okay. And you just need to like own it, figure it out, know when to plug and play people. So like if you do not have those traits, you would struggle because you would then wait for your manager to tell you what to do. And that's like a negative light.
Obviously, very, very true. Yeah. For you?
No, fully agree as well. You can't get by in this job without being motivated. And it's not just motivation. I don't know if we already touched on like the fact that you need to be like resilient as well, right? It requires a certain degree of resilience to push through that final dock at 4 a.m., wake up the next morning for a steer call, attend it, crush it, and then go back and do a problem-solving session with your partner still that same day, and then push some analysis again. So you need to be resilient. You need to be motivated. So,
and maybe one thing to just even add on that is like if you think about our SEO training of 2 weeks, where we'd wake up at 7 a.m., we end at 7 p.m., and Sidumin, so at that time was my trainer, she'll still give you assignments to do. It's almost mirroring the workplace where you have to start early, you then leave early, you then leave very late, and you still need to produce good output. You still need to have questions. So like SEO was almost like a simulation for me. And I remember during my first train, I complained. But like having to work in consulting, I'm like, oh, this was just a tip of the iceberg.
I kind of prepared you. And even on that, just speaking to the new generation of young Africans that we have coming up, and there's this constant need to remember and remind ourselves that obviously, as you're growing up, adulthood, like they said, it was a big scam. They told us, oh, you just have to look nice, go to work. No. And some people still have that type of mindset. And I love the fact that you mentioned the resilient mindset and how we could obviously like ingrain that into young Africans as well. To some level, I believe there's this resilience that the average African already has. And then in terms of owning it in the corporate field, that's where I strongly believe SEO Africa comes in. How do you think it has like driven you as well in the spaces you currently occupy?
I can try. I think one is, if you think about the African continent and you think about other continents, you see that we are plagued with some challenges.
Yeah.
So there's that part where amidst those challenges, you're trying to be something better. So it's not like there is a pot of gold already piled down for you. It's like you're not seeing any gold or silver and you're trying to form something out of it. So for me, it's like growing up where maybe there's no light 24/7, like you having to like hustle for boss for a while. I think you understand the context as to which you live in, and you then decide that you want to be better or you want to create a better space for people behind you or people that are coming after you. So I think for me, that's just it. It's just knowing that there are limited resources in Africa.
Yeah, so there's that automatic need to be a problem solver.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So like you just need to like solve the problem and you need to be better. I think that's it for me largely.
Yeah. No, I think largely I agree with everything Sunkanmi has said. I think you also alluded to like the constant need to want to develop yourself, but not just yourself, but the environment that you find yourself in as well. I think also plays into that. So.
Yeah, and maybe one other thing to even add is maybe the schools I went to, like if you're not like the top best student, like you don't get more resources. So that's also another. So like in a constrained environment, like people just have to hustle to find and so just to like be known.
Wonderful. I really, really love that. And particularly for, like we said, SEO Africa is for the person in secondary school that is trying to find their footing and know, oh, I really want to explore something in consulting or something in finance. And the very essence of this podcast is to kind of paint a picture for them. So they understand what these industries look like. They understand what it is like as an African operating on a global level and in spaces where they've never been into before, spaces they've never heard about before. For some people, their first in-depth knowledge of consulting is going to be this episode. And just going back to the career trajectory in consulting, I think my next question is, for you, is consulting like a long-term destination or is it more of a launch pad? Even in general, when you look at the industry, does it serve as a launch pad into going into other industries as well?
100% is. I think they say consulting is for people that aren't sure of what they want to do with their lives.
Very true.
Because like, it lets you try out so many different things at such an early stage in your career. You get to work across different sectors and functions, different geographies, different people, right? So it really gives you a feel for what it is you like doing versus what it is you don't like doing. So in that sense, I think it serves as a very good launch pad for whatever it is you'd want to do in your career going forward.
Yeah, I'm also like totally in alignment. Like because you have access to like world of resources, world of experts, you are able to try out a couple of things. And also like in consulting, we've gone past only strategy. There's strategy, implementation, operations. So you can try your hands at a lot of things and figure out like if you want to stay long term or if you want to like start something of your own or go somewhere else. For me, I would say like it depends. You never know if you want to like stay long term or if you want to try something else depending on the opportunity available.
Plus, I think the growth prospects in consulting are also much faster than other typical like companies and businesses. So you could go from like an analyst to a partner or something in 10 years, right? In the consulting industry versus a typical bank or something where it might take you 15 to 20.
Yeah, I think we're very structured. Like the structure we ask people in case interview, like we take it, we also internalize it.
So on cases, actually, this is something that we find a lot of people, particularly young people that we're currently training or even reaching out to, they have this kind of fear or resistance from, just jumping into consulting because of that. So is there anything you could touch on that a bit?
Yeah. I remember when I first heard the word kiss interview, I was like, what are we doing? But I would say for me, case interviews is just like, it's just solving problems, just like business problems, to be honest. I think there are a lot of materials that try to overcomplicate things. Fundamentally, it's just understanding a company or a client as an issue, and you're trying to break it down to figure out what the potential answer is. And if you follow your consulting principle, one is always figure out what the root cause is, then figure out the solution. No, root cause, test, then there's a solution, right? Because in the testing phase, we then develop what we call hypothesis. So I would say like read a lot of newspaper, which the SEO also helps, where your normal routine should be in the morning, you read 1 or 2 newspapers, you read a business book, because that also shapes your perspective. If you think about like the way universities are structured, you only learn about your work. But when you think about businesses, like businesses' problems are well diverse, right? You want to see something on economists. What are they saying today? What's the thinking process of a world leader, right? And you'll be shocked that would influence the way you would think about like structuring a problem. Or you read about, let's say, maybe an airline is struggling and they're explaining why. So when you are breaking down your problem, you could tell like, okay, I think the problem could be A, B, C, D, E. So like reading a lot would help you, but also like there are 1,001 case materials that you can use to speed up.
That's really good.
No, for your reason, I think maybe just a tight up in that, but I think it's literally just a simulation of what you would actually be doing on the job, which is you come in, you get the client context, you get the problem, you need to walk through it, dissect, okay, how do I go from the problem to the solution to the impact for the client? So what, like we discussed. So yeah, and like you also said, it could be anything from, how do we distribute vaccines to pregnant women in this state, or how do we help this company drive increased profits and stuff, right? So it's
everything and anything.
Anything and everything.
I think that's also something that I love about economics, because economics lets you know that every sector, every aspect of everything you see, it's somehow intertwined, and it affects your business, it affects your customers, it affects your consumers in one way or another. And it also makes me just see that consulting is just a lot of bogus big words. How much you break it down, it's not as daunting as it seems. Because I think I can make a case study.
Like I think when people just think of consult, just equate it to like solving someone's problem. And I remember when I was practicing, I would also be structured when my friends like ask me like an issue. If you're like struggling with something, I'm like, hey, let me take a step back. I can see 4 things that we're gonna do.
Nice.
But
reaching out.
Because like when I was also practicing, I'd find myself in like a restaurant and I'm looking around the restaurant like, yo, where's the service? Or maybe if they optimized this in the restaurant, they did that. No, maybe they could attract more customers like this. So that's just how my mind.
And that's really interesting because, like we said earlier, the average African is always thinking of solutions because growing up, you're faced with various problems. You see problems, and that's why they say Africa is such a interesting place to even build a business as opposed to like the policies and whatnot. But there's always a problem that demands a solution. So that's why we have a lot of innovation, a lot of innovators. Young people are coming up with ideas every other day. I think we were talking about our university and how almost everyone was doing something because there were problems to solve. So if you're on a continent that largely has problems to solve, like there's obviously more opportunity for problem solvers to kind of arise and step up at the same time.
Yeah, maybe one other thing to add to that is like, one thing I would tell people is like Africa is so diverse. So like we should also understand that there are like different complications, different issues, different people. Like I've found like amazing minds. I'll be like, oh, you thought about this. I would never have thought about it, right? And also I would think about something. I'll be like, oh, I love your perspective. Like it's a complicated continent because there are several challenges and people are forced, and now people are also applying themselves to be innovative.
Even on what you just said, when I think about our SEO Cares project, I'm sure you guys did that as well. The one each class has to take up a problem and then find a solution for that. And what you said about hearing one person's solution and you're like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. But then there are like 10 other people in the room with you that have different
ideas,
like perspectives and additions to that one solution that you're trying to build. So that's one beautiful thing I've always had about Africans and like young Africans as well. You said you are the problem solver, but today, or this segment actually, I'm the chief problem solver. And obviously, it would be a miss to have both of you such brilliant minds with us today, especially on the first episode of the SEO podcast, and not address the elephant in the room, particularly the elephant in the corporate space right now, as we all know, AI, and particularly what it means to us as Africans. Africa is going to have the largest majority of young adults and vibrant talents by 2050. And going forward, what does that mean for us as business owners, SEO that currently trains talent and prepares them for global spaces, and the talent themselves, being the young Africans that are emerging?
I think from my perspective, like, we know AI is here to stay.
Yeah.
So I think the question that we need to rephrase is more around how do we work with AI? And I know for young talent, there are a couple of people just afraid that, AI is going to take our jobs. Yeah. But I think the question should be, how can I be more efficient? How can I optimize more with AI? Mm-hmm. So you'd see at my firm today, like, we have everything AI. Like, there's AI note taker. Mm-hmm. We have ChatGPT that we are also able to use to consult. And I think for young talent, even wanting to break into the industry, the question then is, if this is the bar of knowledge that I know today, how can I increase it to X? So it should be my bar plus X, because that is the only way for you to stand out, right? Because people expect that you're reading more. Like, you have the wealth of knowledge. Like, being in Africa, where like you can't say that you do not have access to any resources, right? There's ChatGPT for you to understand how the market works in China. There's ChatGPT for you to understand how the market works in India. So it means that even when you're coming with case study, people expect so much more. And you need to be more informed. So I think from my perspective, it's like, you should use AI, integrate it to your day-to-day life, and then be a better consultant or be a better industry leader.
Yeah, thank you, Sukomi, for that, because when you speak to young Africans now, they're obviously interested in harnessing what AI has to offer. So while some people are leaning towards the fear of AI dominating or taking over their jobs, some people are taking ahead and they're saying, how can I harness this tool? How can I make it work for me and make me stand out? But we also face the African factor, which is infrastructure. And we see it in the communities we go into, some of our projects that we're working on as well. We see this block that infrastructure has caused, either in terms of technology or light or network. Something is always just wearing up. So from your perspective, what's the way forward with that?
So honestly, it's a tough one, because, I mean, just off the top of my head, like, 40 to 60% of the country is unelectrified. Internet penetration is 70, 80%. So you have lots of people that don't even have access to internet. A typical AI data center uses a vast amount of electric, water resources. So not that it's impossible. Like, I also feel like we have a very long way to go, right? We have a super long way to go. We have so many problems that we do need to fix even before this. Although there's the argument that we try to, because we don't want to be left behind by the rest of the world, we try to take them in parallel, right? But I do feel there's a very long way for us to go on this one. So
maybe this is a path for like some of our entrepreneurs to build solutions. I think there are a couple of people, for example, when I was in VC, there was this education app that was also integrating AI and trying to figure out how their school can be more efficient. So there are so many ways that our entrepreneurs can actually be quite innovative to ensure that the masses or people, our last mile consumers or customers, are still not left behind.
So I was finding so hard because SEO Africa already has that. We have an AI-empowered platform that is currently being used by about 5,000 students across Africa. So we have interns that are learning digital skills there, and we have school students that are also using it as well. And one thing we have noticed, because we have done the work and we've been to those communities and we have seen this infrastructure blockades or barriers that we have encountered and students are still encountering, is that the solutions are there, but there are other solutions that are needed to help them access this AI better. They want that knowledge. They are hungry for that knowledge. And yes, there are more hubs popping up here and there, but there's still that African factor of infrastructural delay or setback.
Maybe the more I think about it, this Africa problem, as we know, is like complex, diverse. Maybe step one is launching like this AI-powered or AI-generated solutions, right? Not necessarily taking over ChatGPT, but more around in most of this, like different apps that we have, either it's the food app, either it's the school learning platform. Like, how can we then leverage AI into that first? That's step one. And step two then would then be, can we then build our own generative AI and
I
the rest?
think AI could also at least assist with solving some of the more niche Africa-specific problems we see. Like, I know there's stuff that AI is being used to monitor or crop grounds in, I think, some places in like northern Nigeria, right? Or like places where farmers can take their sheep to go and graze or their cattle to go and graze. I know it's being used for that as well. It's being applied, I think, for security in some ways as well too. So I know there's those niche problems that AI is helping to solve. And that can solve. So
and also like maybe this is where we also need like development partners, because like with their support, we are able to also like use this generative AI or this AI-powered solution across some of the locations that are not what they call it up to par with the rest of the country.
Really relevant question, and I'm sure it's one that speaks to the minds of the younger audience that we have. Do you think AI can help or prefer solutions to the unemployment gap that we have in Africa currently, particularly for a younger generation?
I was going to say, for me, I think it depends. And the reason why it depends is if we mean AI as in AI the way it is today or AI enabled, I think AI enabled could help with unemployment. But I feel like people, for example, if you're unemployed, you need to even know where are your gaps. So there has to be some platform that maybe would test, like, these are your current skill sets. This is what you're trying to achieve. Then we did develop like a very a spot-on solution for you to be like, in the next 6 weeks, this is what you should be taking. That could help. But the way the AI platforms are today, without it being like enabled, I'm not sure that's like the best solution for unemployment.
So I think how I would catch it, I think AI would be a big contributor to solving the problem. Like you said, from 2 points. So whether it's the upskilling, as well as I think entrepreneurship as well. I think AI could also be a very big enabler for entrepreneur, for like being an entrepreneur. So I'd say it's a contributor. So
So the core value of SEO Africa, I know, as you both know, having been through the program and experienced the community and network, is that it's not about you, but it's about those who have come before you and those who are coming after you. So thinking as futuristic leaders that we know you're going to be, especially innovative ones, what call would you give to those that have gone before you?
So to those that have gone before me, I think my word would be like, remember home very clearly. It's like the challenges that you face, they've tripled on the continent. So if there are ways where you can reduce that, and that could be one, they're like ensuring development partners, two, ensuring that talents in Nigeria are being built, like investing in something like the SEO Africa or investing in other platforms to ensure that like we can harness Africa's skill set. I think that would be great for me.
Right.
I think for me, in terms of the call to action, I think I see it in twofold. So one is acting as the demonstrators of success. So being able to show that it is possible, that success is possible at this grand scale. So just being there to actually prove that and serve as the motivator for people coming up. Second is actually sharing that knowledge in terms of how they actually manage to get there, whether that's through active mentoring, creating pathways, like you've said, for people to come up as well. So I think those two things are the critical aspects for me.
Okay, beautiful. Just based on what you said now, I don't want you to do like a call to action for those coming after you. So you said mentorship and scaling, upscaling and everything in between. So what would you say to those coming after you? So you 5 years ago or 6 years ago?
For young people in Africa, the call to action is your future is in your own hands. If you know what it is you want to achieve, if you have an idea of what it is you want to do, it's on you to make that reality. Whether that is putting in the work, doing 100 case interviews in 3 weeks to land that consulting offer that you want, doing the coffee chats, networking, using AI to build up your skill base and knowledge, right? It's really honestly in your hands to make it a reality for yourself. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think for me, I would tell young people, trust the process while being dogmatic about where you're going to. It's very important to like have a plan. This is like, I remember when I was recruiting, I would know like, okay, I want this kind of job. And I'm also like just fixated on it, but also like being very strategic to be like, for me to get this kind of job, I need to do A, B, C, D, E. And A, you're very, very, you're ensuring that you are doing A diligently. You then move to B, then move to C, then move to D. I think if I look back, I think that was super helpful in my career. And also secondly is like find good mentors. Like where if you have good mentors, they would open doors and spaces for you. And then you would also like move faster than the rest. So this would be my two ideas.
So mentorship is definitely an added advantage.
It's an added advantage to like your own plan and your own strategy for your life.
That planning is very important.
Yeah, but that plan is very important.
So I'm going to put you guys on the hot seat. Do you have people you're mentoring within the SEO Africa network?
Okay, yeah, I do actually. I do have one person, and I think it was SEO that connected me with the person. I just have one person at the moment that I do mentor.
So obviously we have people that want to grow or step into consulting spaces listening to this episode as well. So what's one thing you tell them to read up on, learn, harness skills in?
Yeah. So I think for me, I think the biggest thing that really helped me when I was trying to break into the industry was what's called the feedback loop in terms of how you go about case prepping. So simply you do a case, ideally with someone that knows how to actually give you a case. You get some feedback. You go back and action that feedback. Then you come back and do the case again and see how you've improved. You get new feedback and then just repeat it like that constantly till eventually you've worked through all your problems. So I'd say that was the biggest thing for me when I was actually trying to break in and prep. So
yeah. I think for me, I would say that like landing a consulting job or an offer is beyond also just the case prep.
Yeah.
Like look at both the behavioral part of the interview, the case prep, and also like every other thing in between. There's also like the testing that comes first. I would always advise like connect with people that are in those organizations, get materials to prepare. Like good preparation always beats like 1,001 hours of hard work on the not so great materials. And if you're spiritual, pray about it. Honestly.
And also, please, if you don't get the offer, it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. Yeah.
You do amazingly well. In other words. So,
particularly towards people that tend to build their identity based on what their work is or what their titles are. There's more to life than that, obviously. But there's also one thing I noticed that people struggle with. It's like kind of counting themselves out, particularly from industries like consulting based on their academic background. So what can you say to that? Because you speak to some people and they're like, oh, I wouldn't even try to apply or try to pursue this dream of mine because I believe my academic background puts me at a disadvantage, particularly if they haven't studied something like finance or economics or engineering.
Yeah. So I can say like I didn't study finance. I studied industrial maths, which is like maths with computer science. There's just a general rule of thumb. If you don't put yourself out there, people wouldn't know. Like you should also like count yourself out when people have not told you a no. So like step one is break that internal barrier that says that you're not good enough. Step two is if people have taken a chance on you or at you, know that there's something there that you bring, right? And there's something that we call, which is just like everyone brings unique perspective. The way you grew up, how you grew up, where you grew up shapes the way you think about problem. So like that alone is an asset that even AI cannot replicate. So I think you just need to own it and own it fully. And I think that would help, in my opinion.
So just adding to that, so consulting is very background agnostic. So it doesn't matter where you came from. I've met people at my firm that studied music, that were former like medical doctors, athletes, etc., soldiers from like the army as well, right? So as long as you're able to demonstrate that you can be an effective problem solver, you can sit down, deconstruct a problem, and work through it. Your background doesn't necessarily matter.
So it's been amazing speaking to both of you and quite insightful. And I'm just going to ask a question that would end up being a very crucial segment on our podcast. And that is, what has being part of the SEO Africa network meant to you? And what is your favorite memory?
So it means a lot to me to be part of SEO, especially as I think back on my experience and I think about the next stage of my career, especially because I want to like get an MBA as well, right? That network, the fact that I can reach out to SEO alum from anywhere across the world and they'd be willing to like hear me out, help me with my MBA applications and stuff. It just means so much to be part of that community and that camaraderie as well. In terms of my favorite moments, definitely from the training program. It was really fun. So, yeah.
I think similarly, I think for me, being part of SEO Africa is almost like a family with the kind of people that I've met. I feel like they're one of my closest friends to date, and they also help me out. Like, we are all just being supportive. When I think about my coolest moment, I think it's the training. Like just finishing at 7 p.m., having to like go and crash at your friend's room, trying to like finish Sidiminsu's assignment. I think that was a great experience for me.
Yeah, I think that was like my first experience, like finishing that late.
Same here.
From work. But I mean, if I could go back, that late now.
Yeah, if I could go back, I thought I was suffering.
I thought, yeah.
So, but I'm surviving now.
That's so good. It's been such an amazing time with both of you. Thank you so much for making our time to be here today.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for the invite.